It's Game 4 of the 2011 NBA Finals. The fourth quarter is unfolding, and the Miami Heat are trailing the Dallas Mavericks by 3 points, with just 6.7 seconds remaining in the game. LeBron James, who was yet to win a title, had struggled with a mere 8 points, occasionally looking disoriented and even uncomfortable on the court. However, a potentially pivotal moment arises. With a single shot to tie the game, LeBron would have an opportunity for redemption, a chance to equalize the score, and prevent the Dallas Mavericks from leveling the series. But let's go back a bit further. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please consider subscribing. In their first year together, the big three of LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh sought their first title as a unit. At that point, Dwyane Wade was 5 years removed from his first championship. LeBron James held a 0-1 record in the finals after San Antonio swept the Cavs in 2007. And Chris Bosh had been to the playoffs twice, but was yet to win a series. But at the time of their team up in Miami, the three young stars on an individual level combined for 17 All-Star appearances, 12 All-NBA appearances, 4 All-Defensive Team appearances, 2 MVP awards, and 1 Finals MVP. There's no doubt that this big three is among the most talented trios in league history. The Heat found their footing relatively quickly, finishing second in the East in that first year together, and they went 12-4 in the first few rounds of the playoffs. Miami felt good moving into the finals, where they were facing the third seed in the West. The Heat had playoff and finals experience. Back in the 2006 NBA Finals, Dwyane Wade, who was 24 at the time, in just his third season as a pro, proved to be one of the league's premier young talents. Against the 06 Mavs, D-Wade averaged 34.7 points and 7.8 rebounds per game, and was getting it done on the defensive end, with 2.7 steals and 1 block per game. The 2011 Heat would look to the former Finals MVP to lead the way. For LeBron James, the finals of 2007 weren't as pleasant. He led a humble Cavs team to face a proven Spurs squad, and as the primary target of the Spurs defense, LeBron shrunk in the finals. His regular season 27.3 points per game dropped to a disappointing 22 points per game during that series, on an awful 35% shooting. Fast forward to 2011, LeBron expected his experience to be different. He was a much better player and was playing with a significantly more talented team. While the Heat began the 2011 NBA Finals by taking an early 2-1 lead, LeBron James was playing mediocre compared to his standards. During the regular season, LeBron was a 26.7 points per game scorer, on his most efficient shooting up to that point at 51% from the field. Through the first 3 games, LeBron was only averaging 20 points per game, and things were about to get worse. In Game 4, LeBron started relatively passive. In the first half, he took just 4 shots, making 1 of them and scoring 2 points from the free throw stripe, for a total of 4 points. But still, the Heat held a 2-point lead, and Bosh and Wade combined for 31 points at the half. Going into the second half, LeBron again remained unaggressive, and in the fourth quarter, one of the greatest players in NBA history virtually disappeared. Now, let's go back to this play. 6 seconds left, down by 3, and they're probably going to their best player to try and tie this. Mario Chalmers sets a somewhat weak screen on Deshaun Stevenson to switch the 6'2" Jason Terry onto the 6'9" LeBron James in the corner 3. But Jason Terry reads it well, and the inbound play moves on to get Wade the ball at the top of the key, and things don't pan out for the Heat.
Allowed him to have anything easy, no timeouts. Miller looking. Finds Wade. Wade lost the ball. Goes to the backcourt. Gets it to Miller. Miller puts it up. Air ball. And that's it. The Mavericks have evened the series. What a game.
Looking back, this play seems symbolic of how LeBron James played throughout the series. Unaggressive, out of rhythm, and seemingly shying away from the big moment. Dallas would take that game along with games 5 and 6, securing their first championship in franchise history. LeBron James finished that game with just 8 points on 27% shooting. For the series, he averaged an unimpressive 17.8 points per game. For more context, LeBron's offensive rating during the season was a 116, meaning he produced an estimated 116 points per 100 possessions. In the NBA Finals that year, that rating dropped by 14 points, down to a 102. To give more context to how poorly LeBron was offensively, the league average offensive rating that year was 107.3, meaning in the 2011 NBA Finals, James was over 5 points lower than the average NBA player offensively. That game in that series seems like the greatest blemish on LeBron James' remarkable basketball career. While the Mavericks had a historic run and deserve a great amount of credit, LeBron James disappearing in that series surely made it easier for Dallas. But of course, LeBron came back the next year to redeem himself, averaging 28, 10, and 7 per game in the 2012 NBA Finals. LeBron has credited his failure in 2011 as a huge motivator and even turning point in his career, and he's done more than enough to compensate for that series. But the question arises, how does LeBron's failures impact your view on his successes? The player he's been competing with since 03, Michael Jordan, of course has an unblemished 6-0 record in the finals, but also has his fair share of playoff shortcomings. But has Michael Jordan had a series as poor as LeBron James in the 2011 finals? I don't think so. LeBron, on the other hand, has an unprecedented level of longevity, but Jordan did so much at his peak. Do you view one or the other as the undisputed greatest of all time? Let us know who you think the GOAT is in the comments, and please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching Basketball Pantheon.